You're just wasting them? Alright. Well, if you want us to pick, we'll play after. Yeah, so this is arena tournament games here. We're watching Booth, who's about 1300 rated right now against a like 1550 rated. So he's up against the wall. The bully's there. He's thinking of a way out. Do I kick him in the groin or do I poke him in the eye? What do I do? That's what Booth is going through right now. So. Oh, looks like they started their second game. Frank against Lithuanian. All right. I think after this I'll do some 1v1. Hey baby, what up man? I got some new drugs. I bet you got the good ones. I am going to come as soon as I possibly can. It was very sad. Like I literally had Google open. I had all the flights. It was like 10.5 hours one way. Had it all ready, and I couldn't. Hopefully this stuff, I don't know. It just seems like it's gonna get worse. What up, Orion? Yeah, scary. About to be inside, about to go into the bunker. So a little tip for you guys, make sure you're eating the inside woods first. So she should be here, he should be here. The next one should be on those other ones. That way, as soon as the first tree's dead, right, you're killing 4 trees at the time, and then you can saturate this by double Deville. Okay, I like this start so far. Keeping 6 on sheep for Booth. Oh no, it's not Booth. Is Booth? How's Booth doing? About the same. Vill count +1 for blue. It looks like Booth actually got loom first. Bit unorthodox here. We see a lot of not going for loom because we do have the stone wall around us. Should be pushing deer. Ideally, you're going for like a pretty good castle timing, so like 25 pop up, something around there. You might shave a few vills off or on depending on what civ you're going. 55k new cases a day, yeah. It's insane. I mean, you have to expect it after all the protests. I mean, even if that's not what's driving it, it's kind of like we were already mentally preparing for this to be happening. Hopefully there's a vaccine or something that comes out soon. Or more information on it, you know, how dangerous is it really for healthy people, etc. Yeah, I would have to imagine it's a big part. Did you see the Kanye running for president? So let me put my conspiracy theory hat on for just a second, if you don't mind. Do you think that it's like a Trump crony type thing to get part of the black vote, so that it takes it away from left wing? Because like, why else? Oh, this is good for Booth. Blue. Oh, I love it. I love it. Booth is like, I'm gonna get loom because I know boars are dangerous, and Blue's like, I'm not gonna get loom because experts never get loom because I have walls and I don't have to worry about anything. The boar, he gets gored by a boar. Well, oh. I don't think Trump planned it, but I do think it will have that effect if he does run. Yeah. I think definitely it will have that effect. And I don't know if he planned it, but maybe one of his handlers planned it. Like, who knows what's actually planned and what's just like a funny coincidence that, like, you know, affects things in certain ways. I did see something. I didn't investigate, but I did see something about how Kanye's company got like millions in those government loans. I mean, I don't know what that, you know, if that's just because he owns a company or because, you know, there's something going on. It's crazy times. I try not to be too conspiracy minded, but it's difficult when you got all this juicy details to think about. Right, exactly. He's been talking about it for years and years and years. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if Trump was there to help Hillary win, because who the fuck would vote for Trump over Hillary? Like, you could see conspiracies going all kinds of crazy ways. Right? There's a plot twist for you. So they're splitting wood again. Looks to be more like the 24-25 up for both of them. We got 24 pop up. No, excuse me. Excuse me. 25 pop up for Booth. 26 pop up for VAT. Quick onto gold now. Pretty standard for an FC. We do have Lithuanian, so I would imagine last game we had Malay, and he went for the kind of early boom, and then abused the early imp tech advantage with Arb and Shred. Kind of normal Malay play. And then this game he's going Lithuanian, so I would expect him to do some relic control stuff. Ah, there we go. There's the barracks. So this is going to show. So last game they made markets and blacksmiths. So I was saying you see that a lot with civs that want to go boom or civs that want to go into dropping a castle. So you can kind of figure out at high levels of play what they're going to go for if you see those two buildings. Where even though it costs a little more right up front, if you are going to make army, it is better to go barracks, and then whether it be stable and you're going to go a few scout in the night to clear the middle, or if you're going to drop a range. Either way, you pair that one with the blacksmith. There's a stable, so it will be scout. This is kind of expected. Scout night. Usually, I like to do a couple scouts first and then go into knights, and you use the scouts for monk clear. But you can see the kind of build order change here that happens when you go for that. I really don't like, again, the blue player is not really respecting his mill. Mills are made to be respected and loved and cared about, and if you care about your mill, you don't make buildings around your mill, because you know that once you eat these berries, you can have 8 farms around your mill, just like around your TC, and have perfect saturation. So now we're gonna have to make another mill, because this one's got all this gunk on it, right? No one's been cleaning around the mill. It's terrible. Oh, scouts coming out already, actually. So we'll see. I guess he will try and pick the scouts off of a Booth, give him an advantage there, and then he'll have an extra scout as he tries to kill monks. I like the scouts right away. It helps you know what they're going for, right? You'll see either enemy scouts, or you can look on their walls, see if there's any buildings. You make it so they can't go into early monk. You kind of force either army or boom. So that should make it where he can drop a monastery directly, use the gold for the monks, the food goes for the scouts instead of just waiting for night, right? If you go directly to night, you run into the issue where the enemy might be going lots of monks, and you don't have anything that can clear it as well as the scout. So this is nice, clearing the middle for blue. Booth Booth is going for that, seems like a Boomy style again. So this is where I would prefer that he went for the Scout Knight himself. He is Frank, so he has a lot of bonuses there over Lithuanian. If he does just give up the relics, you're going to find Lithuanian with better Knights and Paladin, right? So it's going to be, it could be really bad. Bingoody! Thank you so much for the 10 months, Bingoody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Don't want to let Lith get those relics.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, let me read the chat a bit. I think Trump planned it. Almost all companies tried to take advantage. Right, yeah, exactly. Like every company is going to try that. So it's like a lot of stuff you read and can find out will lend itself to some conspiracy theories, even though there's I would imagine there's a lot less conspiracies going on than people think. There's just people trying to exploit whatever they can, right, to get ahead. That's just how humans are. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of it makes these little stories, you know, in your head. Candidate. Right, muddy the vote, yeah. Okay, so getting these relics. Alright, Castle right away for Booth. So this is not at all how I thought he would go for this. Kind of interesting though. Frank, a lot cheaper castle, right? So they can make a few axemen and then boom, with less impact on their economy because they don't have to get as much stone. So I would like to see like him take these 5, get that 100 stone, and drop a 3rd TC, right, and do 3 TC with axe. That would be great, actually, if that's how he goes. I have a feeling he'll leave all the stone miners on though, and it won't actually. That won't be used. That benefit. I could be wrong. Axe is an interesting choice. They will do well against the scout, but with their lack of mobility, I doubt that they're going to be impactful before these relics are taken, or a decent number of these relics are taken. So kind of hard. You know what I need to check? I need to check if this is. Does it impact the knights right away? I think it does, right? Yeah. So he's already gonna have, you know, +2 on his knights. That's pretty sick. He already has a bonus that has saved him hundreds of food, and now, actually, as he's upgrading his knights, he could just upgrade only armor and leave it with those 4 relics and have just as strong as a normal paladin. Save on that extra, you know, hundreds of food and gold. Oh no. Okay, good. Well, I'm sorry Brown can't hear, but I'm glad that we don't have a major problem. So as I am balancing my eco, I'm usually looking at the unit I'm making and disregarding all upgrades, right? Because every time you upgrade your gold or your mill or your stone, wood, whatever you're doing, it's going to make your bills work faster. But a very easy way to do the math for a simpleton like me is for every 10 resource your unit costs, I put 1 vil on that resource. It's the poor man's way of balancing the math out, right? So the point is what I'm getting at, is the point, right? We're always getting to a point. 11 on gold seems like way too much. These could be on a 3rd TC getting farms. Right now we have 17 farms, so that's going to keep. So bills cost 5 food, so I'm thinking about 5 farms each. So he's got saturation for more than 3 farms, or 3 TCs. So he could actually have all 3 TCs down, creating vills, plus his axemen. If he moved these around a little bit, it seems like he's going to go possibly aggressive. Okay, so he's going to go forward castle. Interesting. So maybe we do a forward castle and bust the guy open and take the relics. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I kind of like it because he went with a less mobile unit. He kind of wants to put direct pressure somewhere so that he can start fighting. Because if he's running around chasing the relics, it's not really going to do much. You got these 2 hanging out, making out over here by the gate. Hey, PDA, dude. Get a room, you guys. You're supposed to be down here. Not sure why the Axemen weren't sent. What up, Kathis? Third TC, okay. I like it, I like it. You muted it. That's what you get. Looks like we're 5 relics. Damn, son. You know what? I don't know why they took the 5th relic away from this Sib's bonus, because now only 4 affect it. I think it should be 5. I mean, how often do you get all 5 relics? You deserve to have +5 attack on those paladin, in my humble opinion. In my humble, always right, always the best opinion. Humbly. Forward castle. So, when you have forward castle, you have to remember it is a liability. If your opponent does a castle in their base and they up first, they're going to out-treb you and your castle's gone. So you have to be willing to up real quick, sometimes faster than you want to, with forward castles, which is why you might see players doing something like 2 TC or 1 TCs with forward castles, because they're trying to get to the trebs as fast as possible. Blue, as we see, now upgrading to the imp. Upgrading to the imp. He's got a lot of farms. 42 farms for him. So 15 of that is going to his TCs, and the rest will be going to stables. He could definitely add 2 or 3, maybe 4 stables. No problem. Yeah, I think 4 does give it the best paladin. Technically, they have the best paladin once they're fully upgraded. You're absolutely right. But Frank just gets given the best paladin, right? This Civ has to work for it. So they deserve... I think, I mean, obviously in Arena, it's a bit different because one player can get a lot of relics kind of easily if they take map control. But for other maps, the likelihood of you getting all 5 is so low that if you actually do get it, I think it's kind of cool to like give you a bonus. I mean, that's a lot of work. Think about like Arabia or Islands or some shit like that. Like, come on. Come on. Yeah. Welcome. This is kind of how I imagine Boothman. A big bearded guy with an axe. This is perfect. I wouldn't fight Boothman if he had an axe in his hand. The bad thing is, the tech is about to switch hardcore into Blue's favor, and as we know, Blue's already got +4 on those knights. For me, I would be going only upgrading armor at the moment. No, that's a total lie. With the resources I had, I would drop a second Siege Workshop, or Blacksmith. Definitely don't be afraid to drop 2 Blacksmiths in transition if you're going, either you're behind in upgrades, where you'll need both armor and attack, or if you're going 2 different types of army. So say if you're going Arbalest and Hussar, something like that. One can be upgrading the range units, while the other one's upgrading the stable units, stuff like that. It's totally fine to do that. Making 2 is not bad. Now, if you make 2 on accident early Castle Age, then people are going to make fun of you. Dude, do a light show! That's the best. If you do drugs, you can just go sit and do your laser show. You got the hookup. That's where you should be. Turn the computer off, or just turn me up really loud so you can hear me in the room, but that way you can look at the lasers. You'll just forget. Maybe your mind will take you into the game without you even looking at it. Ooh, now we've got castle up, so now we're gonna see that Trebs protected by a castle attacking another castle, kind of like what we saw last game. This is the scary thing about being an aggressor, is that you've spent so much more with all of these walls. Now this player gets to make only eco for longer, and then get to those siege type units that actually make it so they can break out of stuff. This is fantastic though, and this is going to actually prompt an attack here from player 1. Oh, beautiful. Now he should immediately run. Nice snipe there by Booth. Looks like a misclick. Good idea. Okay, so now all of these -4 attack. -4 attack. So that's actually a very impactful attack there. He just snatched hundreds of eco away from his opponent. Very nice. Still having the problem of the Treb issue though. Is he upping yet? I would love to see Booth up now that he has so much production for Trebs, right? I would sell all my wood and go up right now. He's got the production to make those trebs. He can make 3 to 1, actually 4 to 1. But he's got to get there, right? He needs to start repairing. So as you're repairing against trebs, I was told by a very smart arena nerd that 1 treb needs 8 vills repairing. So right now, Booth should have 8 vills repairing this castle, and he would be taking no damage. These are coming back into play here. And if he did that, if he sent, you know, 8 vills forward and went up right now, he's still making army. He's caught in the trap of aggression where you just keep making army because you want your army to be big enough to kill your opponent, but the problem is no amount of army will help him anymore at this point. The only thing he needs is to go imp and to make trebs because he's got the position, right? Ooh, unless you throw some away. I mean, this could work. Kill a couple trebs, get all 3. He's going to lose so much. But look how much eco this is costing him. And now very quickly, now he doesn't have an army and he's got a tech disadvantage with the trebs. So now, I think he should have just backed up. He should have made half as many axemen, gone up, and been repairing the castle. Axemen may be positioned here. Oh, I didn't even see this out here, but yeah, so you can see why. So this area is taken. The knights are not going to move forward, right? It's only going to be the treb, so you just need to keep repairing it. The axemen then could be used over here to kind of rein this guy in. Keep him in on both angles. Don't let him escape. Don't let him come do a counterattack. Obviously, you have stone wall, so it doesn't really... Are these guys still making out? Whoa. They really love each other. This is wonderful. That's great. It wasn't just a fling. These guys really care about each other. Probably gonna have little peasant babies living just outside the walls. Not the safest place. But also, of course, if the axemen were here, it would keep the opponent off all the gold, right? That's a great bonus of having more army. Now he's behind in every single way. Like the animation. Vill count, though. Actually, Booth is ahead Vill. He's got about 11 Vill. 11 Vills ahead. And he's switching to Pike and Halb. I think he's still got a shot at this game here. Certainly could have done a couple moves a bit better that would have, I think, won him the game. But he's not totally out of it. 16 Vill lead now, so he's still climbing in the Vill lead. Population lead as well by 7. And he's actually teching into a unit type that will counter his opponent. So Blue is going to have to add some supplemental... there they are. So some ranges. Basically, you need something to kill Halb. He's going to opt for Skirm. Skirm aren't the best unit at killing Halb by any means. But what they are good at is they're very cost effective. So this way we don't have to spend gold on crossbow or scorpion or mangonel, something else, two-handed swordsman, something else that could fight Halbs. Right now we can spend no gold. That way we have all our gold gets used for paladins. Our food and wood that we have, you know, infinite on this map will be used for the skirm. So even if they're not the best at trading, they'll be pretty decent, and the skirms will also do decently against the axemen. Oh man, Booth is getting a little too far ahead of himself here. He needed to wait for, you know, 20 to 30 halbs, and then he would have a very strong push. He just keeps pushing, so he's not really waiting for the correct masses of units. So yes, you can make a counter unit, but if they're in low numbers against the unit you're trying to counter, that higher number unit's still going to keep winning fights. So you'll get yourself where you allow them to snowball off you even though you're countering them. Obviously his production is fantastic though. He's got 4, 8, about to have 12 barracks. You know, that's more than enough to counter Halb, or to counter Cavalier and Paladin. I do like that he's making buildings forward too, because the way you negate the mobility of the Paladin player, right? You build your buildings right on top of it and you force them to fight. So you're getting your units out to the battlefield right away. They're not walking across map. and then they're countering. Plus, you get to replenish your armies quicker because they're all right there. So this is good. By the way, Skirm, Litteria are the best versus Halb, right? Lithuanian don't get Arbalest, especially Lithuanian Skirm. I was making a broad statement about Skirms in general, but for this, for what he's going for now, this is what he should be making. Absolutely. But obviously, Skirm is not the best anti-Halb unit. The point of what I was saying is that the reason you're going Skirm is because you're saving gold. You could go crossbow, and it would kill better than Skirms would, right? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think you're looking at the game at a higher level. I'm trying to make blanket statements for noobs that can go cross civ. Yes, you do. You know what you should do? You should play one of these players for a show match, just so you can prove my point. Look how patient Blue is being. So Blue's being quite patient, and he's really conserving the gold. A lot of once you're imp, you'll learn this from playing deathmatch more. I think helps players with this concept is gold conservation. You really don't want to lose gold, right? There's a lot more wood and food on the map. Like, we can make skirms and halves for days and days and days. Look at him run away right away. This is really nice play. Yes, he could kill this army right now, but if he doesn't need to, he shouldn't. Not with his gold. Not trading gold anyways. Best of 3,000. Nice, nice, nice for Blue. Bad, bad, bad for... No! Boothman, you were doing so well that one. I would say the biggest mistake that happened that game, and I think you definitely maybe could have won if you changed this, but you did pretty good over the course of the whole game. I would say when you had those 3 castles, you kept making axemen, and I totally understand getting into that mindset of, okay, we're pushing, we need more army, let's fucking kill this guy. But once they have trebs, I mean, we're basically just waiting at the castles, right? So what you do in this situation is you repair the castles. So you send more vills forward, you repair the castles, you use that army you have to go to the other side that's not pressured, right? Because we have 3 castles here. We could put our army here, keeping him off the 2 gold mines. And then we sell our wood and go up. We just have to go up and get trebs before we lose. Before he has more castles in production for trebs than we do, basically. So you had 4 and he only had 1. So there was, you know, as long as you get there before, you know, all your castles are dead, you still have a potential of getting to trebs and kind of holding the position. That's a very situational thing, but I think it would have helped a lot. It's definitely hard. You see a lot more of that type of situation in these arena type games where you just can't push them. Like you can make 200 pop army and you just can't push them. Yeah, I like to push to here. This was really nice, and I really like the sniping of the monastery. That was a great move. The part I'm talking about is once you've done your damage, you're never going to get past this castle and these TCs to the eco. So at that point, you can stop making all army, right? And then go for the tech for the trebs. Now, if he starts making army and pushing out and raiding you, then you can make army again, right? Because then you can trade army. But if you're not trading army, then he's getting ahead. If you're spinning on army and getting nothing out of it, he's getting ahead.